It's a little scary, the bigness thing. It's like, because who got big and went extinct? You know, the dinosaurs, you know? And so it's like, but it is right now, it is a war in these mega arcades, like, you know, Dave & Buster's, Round1, Main Event. It's very competitive out there. You gotta have this, you know, it's just like peacocks have to have all these feathers coming out, you know, and, you know, we've all gotta like just magnify, you know, blind people with strobe lights, and it's just a fight out there. It's kind of like the Las Vegas Strip in miniature inside a Dave & Buster's, you know? You know, when people ask, you know, they'll ask me like, hey, what do you do? You know, you're kind of a weird dude, you know, what do you do for a living? You know, and I go, well, we make arcade games. And the next thing they always say is like, but arcades are dead, you know? Like, how could you make, you know, like, and I try to explain to them, well, not all arcades are dead. I mean, it was almost like, you know, the comet that killed the dinosaurs, you know? And so it was this huge extinction event, but you know, there were a few cockroaches still alive, and you know, the guys here at Raw Thrills are still around, you know, crawling in the walls, keeping the arcade thing alive.
I know at Raw Thrills in particular, you know, we have competitors, but for Eugene, like, good games for the industry, wherever they come from, is a great thing for everybody that's in the industry. And I believe the same thing. You know, if people are putting out good products that our customers and operators can put out to earn good money for them, that will allow them to buy our next generation of games. And we need everyone else to be participating in that, because there's enough to go around for everybody.
So for arcade games in the 21st century, what we try to do is we try to give the player an experience that they can't get at home. What we've done is we've added motion to our games. You know, in your living room, you don't have a big platform that you're sitting on, the seat's moving around and you're having a good time. For a lot of our games, we start adding wind. So you're going down the street and it's, you know, you're going at 100 miles an hour in this driving game, and we want to make it feel like you're going 100 miles an hour. So we blow this wind in your face, your hair is going back.
Well, in CoinOp we have, and I think this is probably a common theme here, is we have a lot of control. You're building the hardware, you're designing the interfaces, everything is under your control. You don't really get that anywhere else. CoinOp is kind of a place that's very special, you know, unless you're designing amusement park rides. We have the freedom to create and direct our games more or less as we see fit. You know, if you want to see something done, you just do it yourself, you try it, and you see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, you try something else.
For example, once we did this snowmobile game, Snowcross, and it was like way late in the process. We're like, well, we should have a button that, you know, you can throw snowballs at other players. It's like, okay, you know, let's just throw this on here and you can bang on it and hit people with it. So it's like, we're trying to, you know, develop something, and they pretty much give us freedom to like develop the best games we can make. That usually takes 2.5 years. It's a long time.
My name is Brian Poklacki. I'm with Partech Incorporated in Franklin Park, Illinois. We have a 140,000 square feet facility building arcade games for Raw Thrills. Everything is completely different from 35 years ago, when you had basically the same cabinet, same monitor, marquee changed, a couple of devices on the control panel. Now the games are all unique in so many different ways. It really actually makes it fun. Well, I've always been sort of a hands-on guy, enjoyed building things. I'm out here on the line with people all the time. Being involved in that is very exciting for me. I don't sit idle ever. I need to be moving, I need to be doing things, and that's what's fun for me.
Yeah, being able to work on games all day, every day, it's kind of a dream come true. It's not a boring desk job. I mean, not only do I get to design the games, help design the electronics, help design the computing systems, I get to come downstairs and try the games and play the games and interact with the programmers and the testers, and it's a whole lot of fun.
I didn't envision this, I guess, even lasting as long as it did. When we started off, it was kind of like, sure, we'll take a flyer on this. You know, let's see what, you know, where this goes. And then you realized quickly that there was like this huge vacuum that was created and that there was still a big desire for coin-operated games. And I can't necessarily explain it, but we're all just enjoying the ride. And it's been, you know, in large measure, Eugene's formula, which is just making everything as big, as loud, as bright, as colorful, as over the top as possible, because you're competing against this room, giant room full of flashing lights and giant screens and all kinds of music, and somehow you have to draw the player's attention over to your thing. To do that, I think everything has to be way exaggerated and repeated and just in players' faces all the time. That's the arcade experience.
The amazing thing is, and you know, arcades are supposed to be dead and everything, but somehow we survived, and part of it is we've embraced the power of big. You know, now everybody's like obsessed with a little 5-inch screen on their cell phone, or maybe now we're up to 7, maybe. You know, in the arcade, we're now embracing like 120-inch screens and gigantic Space Invader games, and there's just something really cool about something big, and maybe just because we've been staring at small screens so long, I don't know. But you know, we're really getting to like trying to stimulate every sense on the human being, and about the only thing we really remains to be done is like just squirt them with like some kind of odor, like some kind of smell-o-vision or something, or just hit them with some water, and stuff. So there's more tricks in the bag. We're at 3 or 4 or 5D now. Maybe we can get to 10D.
Is it ever too intense? The one time it actually was too intense. So we had Pac-Man, right? Pac-Man's great, but we wanted to make an awesome Pac-Man. So we decided, let's make the world's largest Pac-Man. So we saw these LED billboard screens, and what we wanted to do was put Pac-Man on this giant LED billboard screen. So we built this 10-foot tall prototype Pac-Man. Each pixel of the original Pac-Man was one LED on this giant screen. And we turned this thing on, which is normally meant to be seen from hundreds of feet away on a billboard, and we were literally blinded. Like we looked around, we saw black spots everywhere. So, we had to dial that back a little bit, turn the lights down so that we didn't burn the retinas out of our customers. But other than that, we do what we can to kind of push the envelope.
It's one of those things. If you get in this industry, you kind of learn to love it, and if you can be doing that, then that's what you're gonna do. Products have changed over the years, but Raw Thrills really kind of got us interested and very excited about the industry again. Our first game with them, we got a 1,000 game order. Before we built it, we had another 1,000 added to it. And then they made the request. We had to build all 2,000 games in 2 months. So, for us, it was a real fun time. And, we've never stopped accelerating with Raw Thrills. So it's actually phenomenal for us. We're very excited about it.
I feel like while COVID kind of destroyed our industry in the short term, while we were wondering if we were ever going to come back, like in the long term, I think it has kind of reinstilled the purpose of our games being like things that you can do outside of the house to give you entertainment that is really important. Certainly at Raw Thrills, the games that we're making are bigger and bigger. They're not even games, they're experiences. And I think, we've had to move in that direction because of so many cool things that you can do at home. So I think that's where we will continue to sort of find our role, and I think where the industry will find its role.
In going forward, I think we're just going to add more of everything. VR, AR, crazy holographic, whatever you can think of. Just put it in the pot and stir it together and come out with a fun and amazing game.
Really, one of the most rewarding things about this job is going out into the world and seeing people enjoying your games, right? I can think of one thing in particular where 10 or 12 years ago, I was out in Disney World. Space Mountain used to have this arcade right when you got off, and they had a bank of, I think, supercars there. There was just 2 kids there. They must have been on Space Mountain, maybe they weren't, but they were just sitting there playing that instead, having the time of their lives. Just, in the happiest place on earth, and they're choosing to play your game, and that just really left an imprint on me.
I just love video games, and that was kind of the magic for me. It's like having the ability to kind of create your own world. Because reality sucks a lot of the time. And it's a way like, okay, I'm gonna screw that, and I'm gonna have a world where I make the rules and where I can change things and make it the way I think it should be. Kind of this artificial reality, whether it's, you know, staring at Pac-Man or some gigantic simulator or virtual reality headset, you're escaping this new, you know, kind of dreamland while you're conscious. I don't know, it's really fascinating to me. It gets me kind of hyped up.